Welcome to 10 Minutes of Business Blitz, skills, tools and strategies to really kickstart your business this year. We have an incredible lineup of guests today, including Rachel Bourke, founder of Salespace, Geoffrey Roberson, managing director of Champion Legal, and Andrew Simmons, founder of Vision Personal Training. In a world where 3 out of 5 businesses fail within the first 5 years and 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 10 years, today, collectively around this table, we have 160 years worth of business experience.
My goodness.
So sit tight and get ready for the words of wisdom to drop from their mouths. We're going to start with Geoff Robeson this morning. And my question to you, Geoff, is this. There is such a desire to refer to ourselves as entrepreneurs versus business owners or business people. Is there a difference? And do you have a difference, or do you care how people refer to you?
There is a difference. A business owner can be someone who just owns a business and not participate, whereas an entrepreneur, and I think probably around this table today, are entrepreneurs. It's people who have the vision, put in place the plans, the strategies to make that vision come true, what sort of business, the people, the capabilities, the systems. So that's what an entrepreneur is. The entrepreneur is the one that risks all the money but has the vision, whereas a business owner can be someone sitting back, a silent partner, for example. So
okay.
Big difference.
And so, and an entrepreneur has many businesses, many fingers in different pies?
Well, of course, an entrepreneur can be very visionary and not just be involved in one business. Providing he or she's got that ability to see the future, as it were, or prepared to risk their capital and they can go into a number of businesses.
Fantastic. Agree, Rachel?
Absolutely.
And Andrew?
A great summary, really. I think there's a big difference between them. I think they sum it up.
Yep,
Definitely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so the business year is just kicking off. There's lots of talk on Facebook and on social media about goal setting. I'm really interested to hear, when did you set your goals, Andrew, for 2015?
We tend to have a HQ planning day at the end of 2014. It sort of tends to set us up for the holidays so that our teams can go away and start thinking about what they need to do in 2015. We tend to have a very busy start to 2015 with our National Franchising Conference as well as our National PT Summit, so it's fairly intensive. We're in the middle of studio management training at the moment, so a new wave of franchise owners and managers coming through at headquarters this week, so it's a fairly challenging time for us. So we tend to do that in December, and then we really refresh our goals every month from there.
Aha, so it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely.
And Rachel?
Mine is a little bit different. I like to set my goals at the start of every year, but in saying that, I have a vision. I have a very clear vision where I want to take my business, a 5-year vision, and that's always clear. So every year at the end in December, I like to really look back on what I've achieved for the year in my business and also personally, and really feel the gratitude and really rejoice in that and celebrate where my business has come and what I've been able to create in that year. Then I love to take time off, and I like to set my new goals that really are in line with my vision, and I set those in January because I'm totally refreshed. I'm absolutely excited about the year ahead, and then I really get excited about the goals that I'm setting, and I know that I can achieve them very easily, and it's a fantastic feeling. It's the way I've always done it.
So you've mentioned theme. Let me ask you, what's your theme for the year?
My theme for this year is positioning. So
okay.
I know that the more you position yourself in business, then the more opportunities that come your way, the more the faster the growth. And it's really exciting, and it's just once you've done your homework and your business is at a position, it is in a place where you can start to know that you've got everything ready to really focus on positioning, it starts to take off.
Fantastic. So I want to go deeper around this goal setting theme. So it's a non-negotiable, isn't it? You've got to set the goal, whether
Yes.
you do it at the end of the previous year or at the start of that new year. In the 160 years that I referred to of combined business experience, I love this idea. Can you see patterns emerging that allow you to achieve your goals? Have you got a strategy? Is there some things that you absolutely follow every time you go through that process that you can rely on to make sure that you reach those goals?
I think so, yes. Well, obviously, businesses evolve and change very quickly, and you've got to do much like Rachel's described, and Andrew, you've got to do your planning and review, but you'll see common themes coming through. But I've found, particularly post-global financial crisis, the business world has changed dramatically. And in a professional area like mine, we've found that running a profession, for example, or a legal practice is no longer adequate. You've got to run a business. And I think anyone running a business today, I'm a great fan of looking ahead 2, 3, 5 years, but really 90 days I'm finding now. We look at things 90 days and then have a quick review at the end of 90 days. So yes, there are patterns, there are things you can rely on that have happened, but there's a lot happening outside that you really have to take into account and plug into your business very quickly.
So what I hear is you set the global goal, but it's actually breaking it down on a very regular basis.
And making sure that those goals, there's no point continuing to pursue things if they're not working or not working quickly enough even.
And you're fairly cut and dry about that?
Absolutely, you have to be, because really you can find yourself in financial trouble relatively quickly if you're not right on top of all of the issues that impact on business.
Great advice. Andrew, over to you. Those patterns that you see emerging from the way you set goals, what works for you? What would you suggest to the people who are listening today to absolutely have as non-negotiables?
I think the overarching thing is you need to make sure your goals are set in sand rather than concrete. I think a lot of people tend to set their goals and they try and go ahead and achieve them, but they need to be flexible because the market changes so quickly. You need to be able to be very flexible with that. So a lot of people have got to sort of get set in their ways, and then they get bogged down by that. And if they don't achieve their goals, they start getting paralysis. They start questioning themselves. So you need to be able to, I suppose, look at your goals, maybe look at the 12-month goals, but at the same time review them on a quarterly basis. We have our studio goals, we have our financial goals within the studio from an averages perspective, which we set now for the end of the year, but at the same time we'll get our quarterly goals, and we'll revisit those, obviously formally at the end of each quarter. It's important. But for me personally, I always have a little mantra that I try and live by every day, and that is you never start a day until it's finished on paper. And that's a way for me is just to make sure that I can set really short-term targets for me. I'm a big achiever. I have to achieve things every day, otherwise I would just want to kill myself.
Which is rather drastic, people. But we get the idea. Okay, so make sure you're ticking things off your list that they're working towards that goal. And then if things aren't working, who gets to decide when it's not working? Is that always up to you, or in a team of...
I like to include the team. I mean, I've sort of been guilty, I suppose, over the year of being the ones who make the big decisions, but I think sometimes then the team doesn't think, or maybe they feel like they have the authority to think. So I'm really, 2015 for me is about making sure other people think, and I want to make sure that I can sort of step back and listen to the thoughts of other people before them contributing my ideas.
That sounds like a real positioning thing, like Rachel was talking about, an approach to business. Rachel, patterns emerging?
Okay, so I have my theme for the year, and then I break my year down into quarters. And I have a theme for each quarter that it matches and enhances the theme for the year. Something that I think is incredibly important with goals as well is that I like to always make sure that I know that they're pushing me and my team out of our comfort zone. So there's always a stretch. I don't like to stay in my comfort zone. I love the saying that if you're in your comfort zone, you are all now, all you're ever going to be. So I like to know that I've got that feeling of butterflies, and it's scaring me a bit. And I think that the more my goals scare me, then the more I badly want them. So I have that thing going, and I think that with goals, something that's incredibly important is that, yes, you have your goals, you have to have your action steps that are going to allow you to achieve those goals. But the one thing I think is so vital is to make sure that you actually timetable those action steps. If you've got all these things you need to achieve and that you need to do or that you need to learn or people you need to connect with to allow that to happen, make sure you timetable that, or it's just a dream. And it will never happen. You must make the space.
So very quickly, it's the global goal, it's the shorter goals, it's reviewing the shorter goals, it is listening to your team, allowing them to also give their insights, it's being adaptable and being able to move quickly.
Yes.
And I think as a leader, a business owner or an entrepreneur, you need to have the ability to say no as well. I think that's a real key thing, is just you need to focus on the things that you really shouldn't be doing.
For all the women out there listening, absolutely practice the word no. We're going to move on quickly to health because you all look like the picture of health at the beginning of the year, which is wonderful. I've got a question for you, Rachel. 11 months from now, so it's December 2015, are you going to look and feel so fantastic?
Well, it is always a goal for me to keep my health. I mean, health has always been a massive part of my life. I was a personal trainer for 12, 13 years. I had a fantastic fitness business. So it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of who I always want to be. So I suppose when it gets to December, the year is like a sprint for me. I stop, take a breath for a minute, go on a holiday, and then I'm off and racing again. It's just my personality style.
But we know that health and staying in good health is absolutely critical to success, especially when we put ourselves under that enormous stress. When you say you're always looking to stretch yourself, how you feel physically is absolutely important. And I mean, we have the king of fitness over here, Andrew. What are you suggesting to your clients? Business owners, entrepreneurs who are going through this life, how do they stay on top of their health through the year?
Well, I think they're just got to make a commitment to it. At the end of the day, it's important, and to be able to link it. I think a lot of people don't link their health with their wealth. And whether it's a business owner thinks I don't have time to exercise, and more linking their business performance to their health. If you can create that link with people so they can associate being healthy, it's going to help their business performance, that tends to work for us.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people think, well, no, I don't have time for that. No, you don't have time not to do that. Especially now, this is a really tough time because a lot of people go away and then old habits creep in very quickly for people, and you've got to literally snap them out of it.
Yep.
I think also as a leader, people look to you to be inspired by you and be energised by you, just by the presence that you hold. And I think that when you're healthy and when you're feeling great in yourself, then you have that influence on people, and it's part of our responsibility as leaders to be like that.
Agreed, yep. And it is the linking, I think, is really important, and also it comes back down to the goal setting we were talking about. So it's not only your business goals, it's also your personal goals, and they are one and the same. They are all part of the same story, are they not?
Yes.
I think as an entrepreneur, you have a responsibility. You've got people working with and for you, and as you've said, you've got to show the leadership.
Yes.
Lead by example. So staying fit
and healthy is part of it.
Is critical.
We're going to move on. Well, you mentioned earlier on about the change in in business services, and particularly in the legal industry over the past few years. So we often talk about how the world is so fast-paced these days. It's moving at such a rapid rate. Is that a fallacy or is it fact?
No, it's fact. And I think the internet's brought it home in a big way, where you can get so much information so quickly. And I keep up to date in my world by looking at what's happening around the world. And it's fascinating. I mean, we're seeing massive investment, for example, by big banks and insurers in legal services, because they're seeking to capture, as I see it, our clients. Because if there's an estate, for example, there's money. If they're buying property, there's money. And what the banks and big end of town want is to capture high net worth clients. And
so you're looking at global trends.
You've got to look at global trends, absolutely. Yep. And I think it's the same pretty much from a very small business to very large.
So my next question, I'm going to also come to Andrew and Rachel on that, is when you're looking at those global trends, is there a part of you that gets scared, that go, this is all happening so quickly? How do you become a proactive business owner rather than a reactive one?
I think you can have a number. Well, obviously as an entrepreneur, you're looking at things yourself, but it's also who you have working with you and who you associate with and what organisations you belong to. Okay. You get inspiration from all around you, and we've got a policy here. We try and bring in 2 or 3 young final year law students every year in January. We've got 3 bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young people here right now who bring in a whole different lot of skill sets, and we say, go on, off you go. They get a bit overwhelmed by what we tell them, but at the end of the day, we want their skills. And they're far more up to date with the use of social media you mentioned. All of those skill sets now are absolutely critical And we sort of set them free and say, no, you tell us how we can run our business better with your what you know about things.
And then that will feed into your planning sessions, your reviews, your 90-day plans, so that you don't move too quickly on something, but rather give a considered opinion about it.
It's important to not be bleeding edge, as it's said, but you know, don't be too far behind, because you will get left behind. So it's important to really try and keep up with global trends, local trends, but you can get your information in a whole range of ways.
Fantastic. Andrew, the fitness industry is booming, but there's also plenty of competition. How do you make sure that you're staying ahead of the game and being proactive as a business owner? What's your approach?
Well, I could take this a number of different ways, to be honest. Our nation has never been fatter, sicker and weaker than ever before. Even though we've got all these technological advancements and there's trends that have come in and out of the fitness industry for the last 30 or 40 years, it tends not to work. And so I think, well, who is the competition? We've got so many different fitness players that are around, but most of them don't actually focus on the result. So for us, the great quote that I always live by in this space is called follow your moral compass regardless of the trends.
Interesting.
And that's something that John Maxwell, a great leadership mind, has instilled. I just never forget that saying. It's stuck in my mind ever since I first heard it.
So can you do that? Do you really narrow it down to what's happening in your world and what you feel about the fitness industry without looking at global trends?
Absolutely. I think there's always trends that come in, and I think we've been fortunate, and I think if I continue to focus on the results of people, which is notorious our industry, even though we've got more fitness facilities than ever before, more personal trainers than ever before, faster technology, more information than ever before, we're getting fatter, sicker and weaker.
Yep.
And we've seen this for the last 20 years, and all we're doing, I almost think the more that people digress and they focus on the trends, the more we stand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's not rocket science. We've just got to keep it simple and get inside people's heads and work out that technology can help us with that. And that's where things like, you know, using iPads, using Facebook, using all these different social media platforms helps us connect with people. That's really positive. It definitely helps us. But at the same time, when it comes to the fundamentals, that isn't going to change.
Yep.
I mean, that's what confuses people.
I really like, just on this panel, we've had two really different viewpoints about dealing with global trends and how you face those challenges. One of the things that I think is critical is that we learn to relearn to think for ourselves. That yes, there's a whole lot of information out there that we can gather, but it's that moral compass. How do you want to live your life? How do you want to grow your business? Our time is up. So I want to just ask you, if I can, and very quickly, we've got business owners watching here today and entrepreneurs. Do you have one message that you would like to leave them with in 10 seconds? Rachel, Jeff, and then Andrew.
Always envision the best year ahead. Visualization is one of the strongest things and most powerful points that I've ever had in my life. So I visualize exactly what I want. Beautiful.
Love that. Jeff?
Plan your business. Plan your year. Work it as a business. Look up what business means. I started with entrepreneur and a business owner, the difference, but look at there's a lot of information on the web.
Thank you, Jeff. Andrew?
Do what you're passionate about. And that may mean that some people out there actually have to change their business, change their focus. I think we've got far too many people who actually don't follow their passions and go to work every day. I haven't been to work for 25 years.
And on that note, we leave you there. Thank you very much for joining us for Business Blitz. We'll see you next time.